So you don't want to be an influencer, but you do want to create a thriving online business. You might even want to create an online business which still revolves around social media, but isn't quite influencing. If that sounds like you, then I've got good news because there are paths that you can take and I'm going to break them down in today's video. By the way, this video is sponsored by HubSpot, more on them later. Okay, let's just jump right into it. For a lot of people, when I speak to them about this subject, so when I sit down with them and they're like, look, I want to use social media, I want to grow an online business, but I just do not want to be an influencer. The first thing I ask them is, what is it about building an online business or utilizing social media that you like? What are the roles or the tasks that you genuinely enjoy? The reason why I ask this question is because there's usually 1, 2, maybe even 3 things that you love about creating content and utilizing social media. Those are the things we need to identify and isolate because those are the things we're going to use to actually help you grow an online business without influencing. Let me share with you an example. I once worked with someone who had their own blog and had had it for years and they were starting to make money from it, but they came to me because they were like, Jade, I don't actually want to do this. Like, I don't want to be a blogger. I'm just very good at writing. I enjoy writing. And this is kind of the thing that's ended up happening. They don't want to work with brands. They don't want the pressure of continuously having to increase their website visits. The influencing life and the blogging world just wasn't for them. Now, when I was speaking to this person, it seemed pretty clear to me that what they actually loved was writing. That was the skill we had to identify. And that was the skill we had to isolate. Once we'd done that, the path seemed pretty obvious. She loved writing, didn't want to be an influencer. Therefore, she became a freelance copywriter. This is a skill that is hugely in demand, not only by influencers who need help, but also by businesses as well. Now, there are several other skills that you can leverage to do the same thing. For example, you might be very good at video editing, or maybe you just enjoy video editing. You don't even have to be amazing at it. If it's something that you can enjoy, then you can get really good at it, right? So if you notice that actually you love editing video content, and that's the bit what you love about social media, but you don't actually want to be filming and creating your own videos, isolate that skill, video editing, and provide that as a freelancer service. Other popular skills that you can do the same thing for include website design and social media management. So if you are someone who's like, but Jade, I actually love the process of managing a social media channel. I love writing the captions. I love coming out with content ideas. I love all of that. I just don't want the attention on me. I just don't want to be an influencer myself. You can manage someone else's channels. You'll be so surprised at the amount of influencers, celebrities who have social media managers. And that's just the influencers and celebrities. I'm also not counting the countless amount of brands and businesses who also hire social media managers. Those are the roles that I'm sure you know about and you've probably heard about, but a lot of people don't realize that influencers and talent have social media managers too, and that could be you. Now, you've probably heard that and thought, well, that sounds all well and good, but like, how do I actually go about getting jobs as a freelancer in this space? There's a few tips that I can give you. The first is to make sure you have a strong portfolio. This can either be an off-platform portfolio, so like a PDF document, which just showcases your work that you can create using tools like Canva, Adobe Express, Pixar, etc. Or it can be a social media portfolio where you upload your content onto a social channel and you share a link to that social channel with potential partners as an example of the work that you do. If you choose to do the latter, Instagram is usually the best place for this just because it has so many features and it facilitates so many different forms of content. So you can upload videos, you can upload photos, you can upload a bunch of different content, which often makes it easier for it to serve as your portfolio. Once you have your portfolio sorted, you can do one of 2 things to get clients, right? You can either advertise your services on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, which are basically marketplaces where you can tell people that you offer a certain service, set your rate, set your price, and hopefully wait for the briefs just to come in. Or /and, I do kind of recommend doing both, you can do your own cold outreach. Now, it makes me feel funny recommending this because I get a lot of cold outreach emails, and honestly, a lot of them drive me up the wall. But with that being said, there is the occasional one which actually works. For example, I'm pretty sure my video editor, who's going to be watching this right now, and if I'm wrong, he's going to be like, you lying. But I'm pretty sure my video editor was a cold outreach. I'm pretty sure he emailed me cold and I ended up working with him and we've worked together for multiple years now. So sometimes it clearly works. The one thing I would tell you before we move on to the next point when it comes to cold outreach, do not insult people in your outreach emails. Guys, some of the things people email me, like they will literally email me being like, your content is crap. Here's how I can help. And I'm like, babe, so maybe that works on some people, but it doesn't work. Tough love doesn't work on me. I need support and praise. Anyway. Okay, so since we're talking about the different things that you can do outside of influencing, I think it's really worth me sharing a free resource with you, which is going to help you on your journey. This resource is the Hustle's Business Startup Kit. It's provided by HubSpot, and as I mentioned, it's completely free. It's perfect for anyone who's thinking about starting a business, but aren't sure where to begin and also feels a little bit alone in the journey. The truth is, successful businesses are built on careful planning, and this free resource from HubSpot gives you 9 practical templates to help you assess your idea, develop a business plan, and even pitch to investors. Designed for entrepreneurs and small business owners, the Hustle's Business Startup Kit simplifies the startup process and helps you focus on what matters. So if you're wondering what's inside, let me share a few highlights with you. There's a template which helps you prep your idea. It's basically called the feasibility study template, and it utilizes a classic marketing model called Porter's 5 Forces, which allows you to analyze the market. I know that probably sounded super complex, but I promise you it's not, especially if you use this template. It simplifies the whole process, but it basically allows you to validate your idea and ensure that the market is right for your business. There are also a bunch of templates which allow you to make your business plan, including your business plan template, your naming workbook, and even some elevator pitch tools. The latter of that list, so the elevator pitch tools, are the ones that I really liked and found a lot of value in because it's always something that I've struggled with, my elevator pitch. There are templates which help you set up your company, for example, a startup tech stack checklist, a marketing plan template, and the pitch template for investors that I mentioned previously. So whether you just need to validate your idea or you're preparing to pitch to investors, these templates will give you a solid foundation to help you move forward with confidence. So you can get your hands on the Hustle's Business Startup Kit via the link in my description. Remember, it's completely free. A huge thank you to HubSpot for sponsoring this video, but also for providing this incredibly valuable resource. Okay, the next thing that you can do if you don't want to be an influencer, and maybe this is something you've already considered, is you can become a UGC content creator. Now, I do have a whole video about UGC content creation, which I'll link to up here, but UGC essentially stands for user generated content, and it's used to describe content which looks like it's created by a brand's customer. Now, I don't want to dive into this because I'm pretty sure I talk about this in the video I linked to, but like UGC originally was literally just used to describe when you sell a product or service to your customer and they create content, like the customer just creates the content. But now UGC has morphed into this entire form of marketing where actually brands will hire creators to produce this content, which looks like it's been made by a customer, but it hasn't. It's been made by a creator, and they pay the creator to produce this content. Now, this is a great option for anyone who loves creating content online, but does not want to be a social media influencer. You don't necessarily want to build an audience that's focused on you or on the value that you provide. Instead, you just want to create content because that's fun for you. My dog's doing that thing. She's doing that thing. She like pushes her food bowl with her nose. I don't know why. Now, this is perfect for people who just love the craft of content creation, because essentially if you get started with UGC, brands will pay you just to create content. You don't need an audience to become a UGC creator. You just need to know your way around content creation. There are also different levels of skill required for this. You don't necessarily have to be this super high-end videographer or photographer in order to get started down this route. You essentially just need to know how to create content which is clear, concise, and can advertise a product or a service. If you get good at that, you'll be able to pursue a career in UGC. As I mentioned, whole video where I dive into UGC, linked above. I'll link to it below as well. Why not? So that you don't have to click off this video and you could dive into UGC there. If you want even further guidance, there is a masterclass that was created by a UGC expert that lives inside my membership. I will link to that below as well. Okay, let's pivot ever so slightly and let's talk more about creating an online business in general, which actually doesn't require social media at all. Again, something that people often say to me is like, I want to create an online business, but like it feels like in this day and age, how many times did I just say the word like? It feels like in this day and age, you have to have a social media presence in order to have a thriving business. And I would say we've even got one step further. We are now expecting founders of companies to have a personal brand in order to sell their business. Now, if you are someone who is not social media inclined, probably sounds like a nightmare situation. You're probably like, wow, I have this great idea for a product or a service, but it's never going to come to fruition simply because you don't want to have to use social media to market or sell. I do have good news for you. Other marketing channels exist. I know, coming from me, of all people, there are other marketing channels. The reason why people talk about social media, and maybe let's not say people, the reason why I talk about social media so much when it comes to using that as your core marketing channel, especially for new or small businesses, is because it's free. There is no other channel that is free. It's the best channel to get started with marketing your business because it gives you the ability to test out your messaging, to test out your content, to figure out who your audience are, to figure out what they like, and to do all of that for free, right? So that's why I harp on about social media so much. That doesn't mean that there aren't other channels that allow you to do that. For example, I recently filmed a whole video about Amazon ads and the fact that you're now able to advertise on Amazon TV without actually having to sell like a product that is sold through Amazon, right? This is a huge development and could be an incredible opportunity for a lot of small brands out there because it's a cost-effective way to advertise on TV. I'll link to that video above. And maybe also below. I think maybe I should also just start linking to videos below as well. She wonders out loud. Let me know if that would be useful to you. Anyway, Amazon ads is one example, but there's also social media advertising that you can utilize on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, etc. And there are also more cost-effective marketing channels like radio, search engine marketing, and like pay-per-click marketing. That's basically when you go on Google and you search a term and you'll notice there's some paid ads that appear at the top. That's a form of marketing as well. All of this to say, guys, don't let the fact that you don't want to be on social media stop you from launching your product or your business. There are several other marketing channels that you can utilize. You just need to do some research, do some testing and learning to figure out which one actually drives results for you. Last but certainly not least, you can create a faceless social media channel. This conversation is heavily nuanced, but I don't want to spend 5 hours on it, so we're just going to move through it, right? Faceless social media channels are essentially social media channels which do not show your face. So I'm going to put some examples of some of these channels on the screen. They can massively vary from heavily aesthetic reels on Instagram to a full hour-length deep dive video on YouTube, which explores a specific topic but does so using stock images and AI to tell a story. Now, faceless content has become super popular in recent years. A big reason for that is because of AI. AI tools, like some of the ones on the screen, allow you to do things like create an image or a video just by entering a few different keywords. They can allow you to create a voiceover for a video by simply typing in your script without you having to record your voice. These type of powerful tools have made it so much easier for people to create high quality content that tells a story without them even having to speak into a microphone, let alone having to film their faces. There is a downside to this, guys. Are you seeing this? Can you see her? Where did you even get that from? She tears apart her beds and then like tears this apart. And then you turn around and there's fluff everywhere and you don't even know where this came from. Like, I don't even know where she got this from. As with anything in the world, as this becomes more popular, our relationship to it might change. At the moment, this type of content is still a bit of a novelty and can often get great results for people, but by no means is this something that is easy to execute or create. So the main message I want to get across here is just because faceless content sounds easier because you don't have to be on camera and you don't have to speak, doesn't mean that creating high quality faceless content is actually easy. Whether you find it easier or harder than just getting in front of a camera, it's probably going to come down to you and your preferences. I personally would find it way harder for me to create this video without having a mic and a camera in my face. But again, it's down to the person. Okay, my loves, I hope you found that useful. If you did, I recommend watching this video. It's all about the marketing trends that I think are going to thrive in this year and beyond. Do not forget to grab the Hustles Business Startup Kit, which is provided completely for free by HubSpot. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.